Hello. For today's lesson, for May 5th, 2021, we are going to be working on an essay that will be used for your end of unit assessment. So what you will need to do is to go into your Google Classroom, locate your May 5th, A Long Walk to Water Introducing Essay prompt, and open the document. So for this assignment, we have our focusing question. Our focusing question is, how do individuals survive challenging environments in a long walk to water? So you've kind of already started this when we were keeping track of the challenges and the survivals for Naya and Salva. You've also just briefly written a brief paragraph about this as well during this week's lesson. So it reads, after reading the novel and accounts of the experiences of the people of Southern Sudan during and after the Second Sudanese War, write an essay that addresses the theme of survival by answering the question, what factors made survival possible for Salva in a long walk to water? Support your response with evidence from the novel and be sure to explain your thinking about how this evidence relates to a factor in Salva's survival. So our key word here is the word factor. So factor means one of the elements contributing to a particular result or situation. So for example, we couldn't have the picnic because of several factors. We forgot the food, it was raining, and the car broke down. Well, what I would like for you to do on your document is to answer these three questions. What does this prompt mean to you? What factors made survival possible for Salva in a long walk to water? You can also look at our focusing question, how do individuals survive challenging environments in a long walk to water? So there's really no right or wrong answer for this, but what does this prompt mean to you? So let's provide a thoughtful response. The next, write the prompt in your own words. So the part that I have in yellow, I want you to rewrite that question in your own words so that you understand what you will be writing about. And then finally, list three things you will need to do in order to get ready to write your essay. So think about composing this essay. What are some things that you will need to have ready or have to have done in order to write your essay, and list those here. All right. The next part of the assignment is the graphic organizer, the oh so fun evidence-based claims graphic organizer. So our focusing question that you will be working on is what factors made survival possible for Salva in a long walk to water. For today's assignment, we are just focusing on this question and adding three details from the novel. And what I would like is our three details from the beginning, the middle, and the end. So this will be chapters 1 through 6. This could be chapters 7 through 12, and the end 13 through 18. So that way that you use the whole entire book, not just the beginning of the book, to answer this question. So we are going to focus on this question today, but instead of using Salva, I am going to use Naya. So just follow along with me for a moment. So my question, what factors made survival possible for Naya in a long walk to water? So my first one, I'm going to start from the beginning. I will start in chapter 1. So in chapter 1, and notice I gave the chapter of where I'm getting my information from. Naya has to walk many hours every day to get clean water for her family. And that comes from page 1. So make sure that you introduce, the chapter and what page number. So that's one detail of how Naya had to survive something difficult. She had to walk hours every day to get clean water for her family. My next detail is going to come from the middle of the novel, and I chose chapter 8. So in chapter 8, Naya's sister Akir is sick, and Naya had to help care for her by taking her to the special place. And that's on page 45. And then my final quote is going to come from towards the end of the novel. And I'm going to use chapter 13. Where in chapter 13, a well is drilled for them by Salva and his team. And that's page 76. So there are plenty of more things that, I could have discussed. I could have talked about Naya getting a thorn in her foot in chapter 2 and having to get it out because she had to walk, barefoot all these miles of all these hours, to get clean water. So that's another detail that I could have used like towards the beginning of the novel. So today, you're just going to do the same thing I did, but you're going to do with Salva's story. You're going to find 3 pieces of evidence, one from the beginning, middle, and end of the novel. Beginning, chapters 1 through 6, middles, chapters 7 through 12, and end, chapters 13 through 18. What factors made survival possible for Salva in a long walk to water? So that is your assignment for today, and then we'll continue moving on with the next parts later this week. So be thoughtful in your work and in the pieces of evidence that you select for your details. Make sure that you put the chapter number and the page number, as I did here, on your graphic organizer. And again, remember, we'll be using this information to write your final end of the unit essay. So your final assessment for a long walk to water. So just make sure that you do the best and take your time.